fucking tit balls.
Oh my gosh.
This is insane. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. I have done this intro 15 fucking times.
Oh my gosh. Zoom is not our friend.
No, I think like we vastly underestimated. And if you guys are watching the video feed, first of all, I want to apologize because my skin, I swear my skin looks worse in this video than it does right now, but whatever, relatable. But also if you see me looking down, it's because I have Melisa on my computer. Right? She's on my computer, so I'm looking down talking to her. But this, like when we talked about like the eventual event that it was going to be like lockdown safer at home, we were like, oh yeah, and we'll record it remotely, it'll be fine. I don't think we realized that this is so much more complex because we're a call-in advice show, like that we have to hear other audio besides just each other. So this has been
It's been a journey. We're both on two different devices, but our quality is going to be great because we're actually recording from our phone and not directly from the computer.
Yes.
So
well, we also talked mad shit on everybody whose quality was so bad. So like there was no way that like we could talk all this shit to each other and then suddenly be like, yeah, well, ours is going to look the same. So, wow. Yeah. God damn it. Well, guys,
what a journey.
I'm losing my mind. It's literally, guys, it's taken us an hour to start.
It's not quite an hour. I would say it's 42 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Well, guys, this is Don't Blame Me. It's an advice podcast. If you're new here, if you want to call in, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah. This is crazy. Also, like, you are receiving the most unflattering angle of me. Like, it is just like chin.
It's fine. No, I'm not even seeing your chin because the microphone's in the way. I'm seeing forehead.
Oh, okay. My forehead, that definitely is a little too expressive right now. Well, should we get into the calls? Because it's taken us so fucking long.
Wait, because you haven't had Botox?
I need some. I've just been too expressive.
You look good.
Thanks. No one's seeing me anyway.
Hi, Megan. I've been listening to the podcast for so long, I didn't even have to look up the number to call. Since you've been living with Monts for a while, I'm hoping you have some advice for me. I'm 21 and my boyfriend is 24. We've been living together for a little over 6 months now. We're getting ready to move into a new place soon, and there's a few things I would really like to fix before we do that. The first thing is decorating. I did most of the decorating for this place, but of course we picked out a lot of the stuff together. Lately he's been making comments about how he thinks our apartment is too girly, which it's not, and that he wants to pick out some of the stuff. I'm fine with that compromise, but his idea of decorating is like displaying all his Patriots gear and putting out his NFL beer cans. Am I being unreasonable for not wanting that in my apartment? The second thing is he sucks at doing chores. His excuse is always that he works all day and he's too tired, but isn't that the life of every working adult? His other excuse is that he pays for more of the apartment because I'm just a student and I don't make as much money as him. I don't think it's unreasonable for me to ask him to do the dishes and take out the trash, regardless of how much more he's paying a month. Whenever I've tried to talk to him about it, he either gets super defensive or he says I'm right and promises he'll get better, but then he doesn't. If you have advice on maybe different ways I could try to talk to him about it or what I could do, it'd be greatly appreciated. I'm rushing to call before he gets home from work, but thank you.
Oi. Okay, first let's touch on the girly apartment because we have pink chairs in our apartment. And I completely understand his thoughts and feelings. And I even actually had one of Monts' friends, his girlfriend, who they just moved in together. When she came over here for the first time, she was like, how is there no like Broncos jerseys on the wall? Like, how did you get away with like all of like, it's so meticulously clearly you? And here's what I'll say. Anything that is not, I will, when we were decorating or whatever, I would send Monts like everything that I liked. I will also say the issue is also like I lived here first. Like he moved in with me. So there was a lot of stuff that was already established as like my stuff. But like, so I got the pink chairs because like we got in like he was like being stupid or something about something. And then he finally was like, okay, we can get the pink chairs. But for anything else, I would just pay, like if it's something that I would get him, if he liked something, then cool, that's great. Like I'm not going to get anything that he's like, no, I absolutely hate that. Like I would send him everything. But if it's something that's not his style or is not what he would choose, but he still is okay with it, I would pay for it. Like I wouldn't ask him to pay for something that he doesn't like. So I think that's like, I would say that's the compromise. Like if your boyfriend's thinking that, oh, it's too girly, I really don't like this stuff, and he's also splitting the cost for things, like there's certain things that I bought and other things, like I've like in the guest room there are pink lamps and some pink fuzzy throw pillows. I bought those. But then for excuse me, for our couch, which I wouldn't call it girly, we shared the cost of, did we share the cost of the couch? Yeah, we shared the cost of the couch. Or like the dining room table set, he contributed to that. So I think there's like, that's a compromise there. But it is also hard if he is paying for more of the apartment. Like if he's paying for shit that he's not into, then I get that. I think like you have to let him have decorations.
Yeah, I think the problem with the paying for more, he's saying that he shouldn't have to do dishes.
No, so that's what I was going to say. I think if he's like, if I'm going to use the same, I think if he's like paying for more of the rent, that makes me wonder if he's paying for all of the decoration stuff. But if he's paying more for the rent, that like doesn't matter. That doesn't excuse him from anything. Like if he's paying for more of rent, then you guys should move to a place that's cheaper that you can split 50-50 then. Like I don't think that there's
I agree. And
yeah, that doesn't make an excuse.
Think
but also
it's fair like to say that just because he's paying more for the apartment that he doesn't have to do dishes.
No, he's saying it like you're a housewife.
Like he's hiring you or hiring you like like he's paying more, so therefore he's like
reaping the
you
benefits.
To clean, like
like that's
like
not
she's the
cool.
house cleaner.
Yeah, no, I think that's
not cool or fair at all.
No, but I think like then figure out with him what are the chores. Like divvy it up, like decide what he's going to do. Like, because the two ones that you mentioned were doing the dishes and taking the trash out. Those are the ones when Monts and I were establishing, okay, what chores are you going to do? What chores am I going to do? Those are the ones that he was like, that's what I'm choosing to do those. And like, yeah, I'll still have to remind him, but I think there's compromise on either end. Like if it takes a little bit of time, if you're someone who needs to clean up every single night and he might not be, it might have to be, if he would want to clean up once a week and you want to clean up every single night, maybe it's okay, 3 times a week, twice a week, and like building up and finding that compromise for both of you. But maybe dishes and taking the trash out are the two things he hates the most, and he would rather do laundry and sweep. Like, so find out that stuff and divvy it up. Otherwise, if he doesn't want to do anything at all ever, then you should be getting paid because then you're babysitting. Like, like it's just not. That
makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Like at all. And I just think, and also the idea that he's like, well, I've been like tired from going to work all day. You're a student. You're tired from school all day too. Like it's not.
And you have to, when you come home, you have to study. It's not fair.
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Like that's not. The idea that he thinks that it's not equal. And I think maybe it is the fact that he resents that he's paying more. And also, what if it's his apartment that she moved into that he was already paying more at? Like, that would be ridiculous. But I think if you guys are moving in 6 months, I mean, if you've lived together for 6 months, but you're moving now, I think I would reevaluate. Like,
me too.
Because I just think.
Especially, you guys are at different points because she's 21, he's 24. He's in the workforce. She's still in school. Like they're not. Yeah. It's not going to be even until you're done with school. So you gotta. I don't want to say even, but like he's not going to treat you. Yeah. I don't know how to say this.
No, but I get. He's not going to. He's not going to think of the same excuses for you. Like you're not going to have the same excuses that he has.
And it's like he doesn't respect you.
Yeah, because I'll also say Monts works a typical 9 to 5 job, and I work from home, and there are some days where I'm doing a ton, and there's other days where I'm like literally just not doing much. And he will still come home, and if I'm not in the mood to like make dinner, or if I'm like feeling low or whatever, like he'll cook dinner and he'll clean. And I'm the one who's been sitting at home doing nothing all day, like just feeling shitty or whatever. And then he's the one who's gone to work all day, and then he still, like, it's never going to be 50-50. And I just think that's ridiculous that he would hold that like above your head. But I also think that like, I think that you guys need to have that conversation and then talk about the hypothetical, like of you're like, okay, well, if we moved into a place where I could pay for half the rent, would you be cleaning more? And like, I don't know. It just doesn't, to me, it doesn't bode well for someone who like wholly respects you and is going to like that is going to support you regardless of like where you're at in your life. Like to me, it's like, it sounds like if you let's say you were working and you lost your job and you weren't contributing a lot of money, that you would then be expected to like go above and beyond when like mental health wise, you'd probably be struggling. Like it just seems doesn't seem.
And this probably isn't even an issue now.
Oh my God, that's true.
Because you probably can't move. You guys are stuck where you are right now, and you're both probably working from home.
Do you think he's cleaning now? Or no?
No.
Can you imagine? That would be absolute bullshit. Like where you're doing school online and he's doing work at home. Like, so there's really no, like you're both like exerting the same amount of physical effort. He can't even come up with some fucking excuse there. And imagine if he's still like, no, this is your responsibility. Yeah. You're dating a man child. I'm
sorry.
Yeah. This is also a similar age gap to Monts and I, and also a similar, I think he was 25 when I was 21. Or maybe, we're like 4+ years. But I like, I mean, I wasn't in school at the time, but even then it like, I don't think you could come up with an excuse that's, I don't know. It's just, it's not good. It's not good at all. But I hope your quarantine hasn't been terrible. Yeah. I hope she's in our Facebook group season. And then can let us know how the quarantine with her boyfriend has been.
Or she can call back too.
Oh yeah, please call back too. I just want to know now though, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Should we go on to the next?
Hi, Meghan and Melissa. So I'm 22 years old, and I'm just calling because I could really use some advice. So I've been with my boyfriend for a little over 2.5 years. We met sophomore year in college, and we both graduated in May, and then we moved back home at the end of August. Since then, we've been doing long distance and see each other once every 2 or 3 weeks. So going from seeing each other every day to barely seeing each other has definitely taken a toll on our relationship. And I have always been someone who struggles in saying how I feel and like talking about that. And just like keeping things in. I also kind of feel like if something bothers me that he does, I won't really say it to him, which I know isn't fair. But really recently I've been really good at saying how I feel, and when something upsets me, I will just say it. So with that being said, recently we have been feeling really disconnected from each other and alone. So the other day on Valentine's Day, I was really looking forward to hanging out with him, and I told him that I didn't want anything or to do anything. I just wanted to stay in and watch a movie and hang out with him. And so all I asked from him was him to make me a card because I love cards. And he was like, yeah, definitely I'll do that. And when the time came, he didn't bother putting in the effort to make me a simple card. So I was really upset by that. And I expressed it and told him that I didn't even want a card, basically. I just wanted something that I could read that showed me he loved me. And he was like, I know, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And then he went on to say how he feels like I always wish he was somebody else and how he never thinks I'm happy. And so I told him that a lot of times when he upsets me, I'll just keep it into myself. And that's not saying anything about him, but it's more just about my issue. And then, so I just let it get to my head, and then I shut down. It's definitely not fair to him. And so I told him that I wanted to talk about it so we could both be on the same page and get back to how we were. And he basically just shut me down again and said, well, I don't know what you want me to say. I always feel like I say this I always feel the same way about you. I don't know what you mean by getting on the same page. Like, I've always been on the same page. It basically just shut me down. And then it got me feeling really guilty for feeling some type of way because he's saying he doesn't feel the same way. So I guess I'm just asking your advice about what you think I should do or say to him, because I feel like nothing I say or how I calmly try to have a conversation with him, he always just takes it so personally. And like, no matter what, I'm always wrong. So yeah, thank you. And by the way, I'm a Leo and he's a Gemini. Okay, thank you. Love you. Bye.
Okay. I relate to, okay, first thing I would say is the issue with keeping things in and not communicating with your partner. It is going to be absolutely impossible for them not to take it personally, because if you don't communicate with your partner, the message that sends to them is, I don't think it's worth it to tell you this because I don't think you're going to change. Like, or I don't think you're going to adjust for this. So if you don't tell him that, it's because it's not because of that. Like, it might be any other reason for you, but for your partner, they're always going to receive it as, oh, it's not worth telling me this because they like, you're essentially kind of just like brushing it off and shrugging it off and not being like, oh, I think he's better than this, or I think that this was a misunderstanding. And like, you're just not giving him the opportunity to like show you that. So I totally understand how he's feeling that way. I would also say you saying like, we need to have a talk so we can get on the same page. And as a fellow Leo, I understand it's just a little dramatic and ominous. And so I think like, as opposed to like planning to have a conversation, just start having a conversation, because I think that probably freaks when you say like, hey, we need to talk. That is like the epitome of like freaking someone out. And I think you just need to like say how you feel and not do this buildup. And I'm someone who used to really struggle with communication, and now I over communicate. But like, it can kind of, when you're not comfortable communicating your feelings, it can kind of buy you time and you kind of do that build up. But to somebody else receiving that I think like for him probably feels like, what? Like, I don't, and maybe you didn't mean that there's like this big difference communication with you guys, but I think like it boils down to like you guys have different love languages and you need to, I would take the love language quiz with him, because even when you said, I just needed something to know that he loves me. And I think for you, your love language might be gifts. Like, you might need, he can tell you he loves you all this time and he's saying his feelings haven't changed, but you're not receiving it because it's not in your love language. I'm
sorry. She's telling him exactly what she wants, but he's not doing it. She just wanted a card and he didn't even do that.
But what was his response? Did he just, just forgot?
It wasn't even that he didn't forget. She didn't say he forgot. He just said, oh yeah, I should have done that.
Yeah, I guess I want to know what his reaction was. Like, if his reaction was like, oh my God, shit, I totally forgot, then he made up for it.
The only thing that she wanted, like the only thing.
Yeah,
I guess any present or anything. She just wanted a card. She's saying exactly what she wants, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, I should have done that."
I think it's the love language thing though, because I don't think he's treating it as something that's that important to her, and I think that she, even if she's stressing it, I think you guys need to. I think he needs to see and understand that that's your love language, not just because he's probably thinking about it in the sense like, "Oh yeah, a card would be like that would be nice." And not in like this is going to mean so much to her thing. And maybe, because you've said that it means a lot to you. Maybe he needs to see it in like, again, a stupid way of, not love languages are stupid, but in a way that, hey, this is how, or even just telling him like, this is how, for me, I really love like a token of love. Like, I love something tangible that I can hold that like really has a sentimental value to it. I would say that, because I'm giving him such the benefit of the doubt, because the only thing I asked for Valentine's Day this year was flowers, and Monts didn't give me flowers and forgot. And like, but it wasn't a huge, but for me, that wasn't like my love language. And I would then tease him about it later, but it wasn't like such a huge deal. And I wonder if your boyfriend kind of treated it like that. Like, oh yeah, no, I don't want anything. I just want to hang out. And he took that as number one priority, just wants to do this. And then you're like, a card, like all I want is a card. Like, a card would be nice. And he just tuned out after the first part of it. And maybe he didn't realize how important it was. I do think his response to like, not want to say confrontation, but you guys arguing is a little like fatalistic of being like, well, I'm doing like, I don't know what you want me to do and all of that stuff. I think you guys.
That's what bothers me is because she keeps saying exactly what she wants and he's just not.
But she's saying that she's not usually really good at communication. So it takes a little bit of time. And I think you guys are like the prime example of a couple who could benefit from therapy because I think that you guys have been together for a while. And if your communication has gotten better, this is something that I definitely struggle with. My communication wasn't always awesome. So even now, and this was something that has helped Monts and I so much in therapy, was that like now when I do communicate, he will spend a lot of time like trying to look under and like the layers of it. Cause from before I wasn't super upfront and he would have to do some digging to kind of decode what was underneath what I was saying. And now it's a lot of, okay, I've unlearned these behaviors of not communicating. You need to unlearn these behaviors of not thinking I'm communicating when I am communicating. So I think you guys could benefit from therapy for that. I just think you guys are so, even though you're doing better at communicating with your feelings with him, I don't think you're communicating with each other at all.
Yeah.
You know, like
they're not, I don't think, I agree with that. I don't think they're hearing what the other's saying. They're just taking from it what they want.
For the first time ever, it doesn't really sound malicious on either end. Like, I think you're both being like fair. I just don't think that either of you are really understanding what the other one is like saying or wanting, even though you're both expressing it, which is like, that's the other complicated thing. Cause it feels like, well, obviously he should understand because this is what I'm saying, but I don't think he's interpreting it like that. Or maybe he is, and he's just like a total loser. And then you'll go to therapy and figure that out.
That's how I feel.
And you can still do therapy, visual therapy. What's it called? Virtual therapy, telehealth, all that stuff.
Like we're doing right now, but it's not therapy.
Hi, Meghan, Melissa, and guests. So I'm 20 years old, and I've been with my boyfriend for unofficially, it's been way over a year, going on 2 years, but officially it's been about like almost a year. So my problem is with this girl that he's been friends with for, longer than he's known me. Like, they grew up together. She lives in his neighborhood, that type of thing. But she is like 2 or 3 years younger than I. But I just get the vibe kind of that there's something going on, or like there used to be something going on. But every time I ask him about it, he's always just like, no, like I always see her as a sister, blah, blah, blah. So I was fine with that. I was like, okay, whatever. But I met her and we all hung out together. This was quite a while ago. And I just felt like I was honestly third wheeling on their date. And I was just extremely uncomfortable the entire time. They were very flirty and touchy and it was just really uncomfortable for me. I kind of let that go, and I was like, maybe I'm just being crazy, whatever. That seems to be a trend in our relationship, by the way. But then I went through his text because something about her still didn't sit right with me. And I found this one text where he called her babe. He was like, babe, let me know if you're coming over. And this was well when we were dating. And after we told each other we loved each other, whatever. Also, he is my first real boyfriend, and I lost my virginity to him. So it's kind of hard for me to like see all these red flags, Anyway, so then I still didn't feel well about that. I confronted him and he was like, that must have been a typo. And I kind of let it go, even though I just was like, I feel like I'm being stupid, but I let it go. And then I went through his Snapchat because, again, still wasn't feeling right to me. And he said very sexually suggestive things to her, like referring to having her nudes and like stuff like this, and some really weird stuff. And it was very obvious that like there was something at some point. So I feel like I've been lied to. I told him basically if this happens one more time, like I'm done. I can't do it anymore. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on if you think I'm being stupid or what. I'm being crazy. Like, I don't care. Please just give it to me straight. Love the podcast. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Being crazy. All the information is there. He's been lying to you the whole time.
She didn't even say, and he admitted, that they like had slept together. But also, it's not even just that they had a past. Like, he's definitely cheating on you. Like, with her actively.
Like, currently, right now.
Yes.
you're not crazy,
but you're stupid.
Just blind to what's actually going on around you. Like, you hung out with him and you felt like the third wheel. You've always got this weird vibe. He calls her babe, and they've been talking about nudes and sexual stuff. He does not think of her as a sister. If he does, that's sick. And you just need to move on.
Yeah.
Dump him. Like, he's lying. It's not like he might we did something together. He's not admitting, and he's not saying like it happened one time a while ago. It was a mistake, blah, blah, blah. No, he is actively still doing this and lying to you about it.
Yeah. And he's not hiding it well. And not hiding it well is the epitome of not respecting you. And like, obviously, like, cheating on you is not respecting you, but like not hiding it well, and just like the fact that you hung out with her and they were doing that blatantly in front of you just shows how much
disgusting.
And like, the fact that they definitely talked about it after, and she was like, oh my God, your girlfriend like literally has no idea. Like, that's so crazy. Like they're talking about you being stupid, which I say out of like love. Like, I say this out of like being like, I hope clearly you've seen all of these red flags and you're addressing them as red flags, and you're still in the relationship, and you want us to tell you that you're being stupid. So we're telling you that like you're being stupid. Like, this is not.
Yeah.
And and as somebody who like Leo and I refer to each other like brother sister, and like the first time Monts and I had known each other before Leo and I became friends, but like even for like before Monts like really met Leo and started hanging out, he was like, oh yeah, I mean, of course. I was like, okay, he's like your brother, but like, okay, like what? And then he's like, oh no, 100% platonic. And the same thing with like girls that he's dated. Like, he's like, oh, this is Meghan. She's literally like my sister. And there's nothing, but there's no, you don't do that with like friendships that are like that's not how, if you refer to someone as your sister like that, like he's just doing that as like a cover up in a way that's not how people who refer to each other, their friends, like, oh, this is like my brother, this is like my sister. And if they act like that, they're fucking, then they're fucking.
Yes.
And especially if they're doing it in front 100%. Of you. Like, he should have been like, if he was like actually a smart dude, you would have never met this girl. Like, why did you even meet her? Like, that's the part that's like, I think
because it's under the guise that this is my sister. And
no,
he can just do what he wants in the open.
But that's what I mean, like that he's such an idiot that he like, not even he's such an idiot. Like, he thinks so little of you that he's gonna he's gonna not even hide her from your life. Like, he's just going to have her be right there, and then call her like his be like, oh, she's just like my sister, and then blatantly be like that all in front of you.
Because it's an excuse that he can keep doing what he's doing.
Exactly, and he doesn't have to hide it.
Mm-hmm.
This is just.
Also, the thing about you losing your virginity to him.
We hate that term.
That makes you, I hate that term, one. But two, like, I understand what you're trying to say is that he's your first real boyfriend and he's the first person that you've really had feelings for. So you want to hold on to that feeling, but you need to have more respect for yourself.
Yeah, I think maybe it's your first relationship, so you're not necessarily used to like, oh, what is normal and what's not. Like, you don't have something to compare it to. But like, as much as I understand that excuse, that doesn't like negate your feelings. Like, you have a gut instinct and you have those sort of like, oh, this doesn't feel right. And it doesn't, and like, that's such like a male, like a narcissist, like, yeah, like a male misogynistic, narrative of being like, oh, well, like you don't have anything else to compare it to. And it's like, I don't need something to fucking compare it to. Like, if it doesn't sit right with me, it doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't need to be like, oh, well, I've never had any other boyfriends, so like, I guess like maybe this is just how it goes. Like, not saying that you're like that's how you're thinking about it, but to me, that is such like a male thing put in your head, essentially, of being like, oh, well, like, you know.
I gave this to him. You didn't give anything to him.
No.
He was just the first guy that you had sex with.
Exactly. He was the first person that stuck their penis. It's the first person that you had penetrative sex with, assuming, or whatever you did. And that's it. And that's like, literally, I don't even think about, I like hardly ever think about the first guy I ever slept with, who was like my first boyfriend, my first love. Never fucking think of him. I'm like, don't really give a shit, like at all.
Yeah. He does not own anything that I didn't give him anything. He didn't take anything from me. And he doesn't have ownership of that.
And I also think that there's like, if you want to put any importance on something like that, put it on the last person that you sleep with. Mm-hmm. Like that's the last person that you choose to spend like that's who you want to sleep with for the rest of your life. And here's the thing, even people who put like the concept of virginity on a pedestal, change the narrative. You can, again, if you married or like you ended up with the first person you ever slept with, it doesn't matter they were the first person, they were the last person. Like it's still the same, it's the same fucking thing. Like that's the part that I think is so like just dated and dumb. And I think you need us to tell you that you're being stupid and you're not being crazy. And again, women being crazy in these situations is the epitome of guys telling you that you're being crazy. And if this is like your first, like you had sex for the first time with him, and if he was your first relationship, then it is directly him telling you that you're being crazy about being worried about this sort of stuff. Because I don't necessarily foresee like if you've had a conversation with him about it and he's reassured you and been like, oh, don't be crazy, blah, blah, blah. It's gaslighting. And then you go on to then like find fucking like him referencing her nudes and calling her babe and him saying babe is a typo. Disgusting. That is the worst excuse I've ever had. Baby is the only other one.
Exactly.
And that's like, again, I think of the only males that call me babe. I don't even think my mod's like never fucking calls me babe sometimes, but like
you call him babe.
I call him babe, but like the only other guys who call me babe are gay, like are babe or baby. That's it. Like it's just it's just hella fucking
You ever asked dumb. Leo for his nudes?
No. I'm trying to think if I've seen any of it. No, I've never seen any of his nudes. Ugh. I would die. I've seen like funny compromising pictures. I think I think him and I told you about one of his. Yeah, but there was like never fucking any genitalia. Like if I would be like, get the fuck out of it. Because it makes me sick to my stomach. It's like, ugh.
It's disgusting.
It's like a sibling. Like it's so fucking gross. Anytime I even talk about, like, we'll talk about sex stuff like left and right, but like if anything ever gets to a point where like too like graphic, he's like, I need you to stop because I'm just picturing it and it's like making me want to throw up. And I'm like, yeah, that's the exact same way how I feel about you. Break up with him. He's a fucking idiot. And also, you know, like either he's going to gaslight you and try and get you to stay and tell you you're being crazy, or he's just like not even going to give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Like he's just going to be like, whatever, like I'm fucking this other girl. It's just so, there's no excuse. And like typo, I'm not over it. A typo? Like, and he's like, oh no, our nickname
really thinks that you're an idiot.
That's what I mean. Like that's, I think, the worst part.
Fucking stupid.
He thinks you are such a fucking idiot that he's like, I can literally hang out with my side piece. I can hang out with the girl that I'm cheating with my current girlfriend, and she has no idea. I can call her babe, talk about the nudes that I have, and I'm like able to convince her that she's just being crazy. Like what a dumb shit. Like that, like he has zero respect for you, and you should not have any respect for him, and you need to like just walk the fuck out of his life because he is a piece of shit. Like an absolute piece of shit. Ugh. I apologize. Bye. I feel so bad for you. But yeah, you need to be done. And also like we usually give like snoop more. Like you've literally found everything. I fucking hope you're not quarantined.
Yeah,
with him.
Break up with him by a vibrator. We're all quarantined, so you're not going anywhere.
No, but I'm hoping she's not with him. She's not.
I don't think.
I'm willing it. I'm willing that they're not physically together right now. Imagine they're all three quarantining together and he's like, I don't know why you're being crazy, man. Like, babe, you're being like fucking insane. And she's like, wait, which babe are you talking to, me or her? Which one? And he's like, babe one. I can't. You're all three sleeping in the same bed. And he's like, I don't know why you're being crazy.
His dick is like in her mouth. I don't know why.
I
just fell over.
Like, sorry. I just like have a cut on my penis and I couldn't find any like bandages. So like she's just like helping me out. I can't. Saliva has cleaning properties. Did you not know that? Yeah, break up with this dude.
My God.
Is it time for a break now?
It's time for a break.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. If there is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp Online Counseling can help. BetterHelp offers licensed professional counselors who are specialized in issues such as depression, anxiety, relationships, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, self-esteem, and more. Connect with your professional counselor in a safe and private online environment, and get help at your own time and at your own pace. Anything you share is confidential, and it's so convenient. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist. If for some reason you're not happy with your counselor, though, you can request a new one at any time for no additional charge. Best of all, it's a truly affordable option. Our listeners even get 10% off your first month with the discount code BLAME. So why not get started today? Go to betterhelp.com/blame, then simply fill out a questionnaire to help them assess your needs and get matched with a counselor you'll love. That's betterhelp.com/blame. Ever wanted to get into bullet journaling or planning? Now is a great time to learn a new hobby that can help you manage your stress, and Archer & Olive is the premier company making super cute notebooks and planners for your creative endeavors. Founder Bonnie Cool created Archer & Olive because journaling helped her manage her own mental health issues, so you can too. Archer & Olive offers free tutorials and printables on the blog to help you get started with creative things like bullet planning, journaling, lettering, doodling, and all kinds of arts and journaling tutorials. Each notebook and planner is made with superior quality and attention to detail, including an eco-friendly box it's shipped in. I will also note that the box is not only eco-friendly, it's incredibly cute. I have saved the boxes of mine because it's very cute. And the cute, inspiring designs are created with the help of independent artists that are paid fairly for their work. There are even back pages and gel pens. Guys, I mean, if you know anything about me, you know this girl loves to doodle. I am obsessed. I love lettering. I love that art stuff so much. And if you're into this kind of stuff, you know what it feels like when you have a good quality notebook with good quality, that thick paper that just makes your pens glide. Oh, it is fantastic. It also incredibly cute. I have a really cute pink one, and it has one of those like little rubber things that goes over the side of it to keep all the pages together, which I love. It's absolutely beautiful. And not only is it pretty, it's aesthetic, functional, premium quality. And right now you can get 10% off at Archer & Olive by using code BLAME at archerandolive.com/blame. That's code BLAME at checkout after visiting archerandolive.com/blame. Care of is a wellness brand that makes it easy to maintain your health goals with a customized vitamin plan that helps you feel your best today and supports you long term. Care of's short online quiz makes it easy. Simply answer some questions about your diet, health goals, and lifestyle, and Care of will recommend a list of vitamins and supplements specifically for your health needs and goals, whether it's improving your fitness routine or managing stress. You can follow Care of's expert recommendations or adjust your packet anytime. What you receive is totally up to you. Their new skin and hair collection helps you work on your beauty goals from all angles with a combination of targeted ingredients for hair, skin, and nails. Care of is focused on the quality, science, and research that goes into each of their products and recommendations. Their yummy protein powders are made of real ingredients you can recognize, like organic cocoa and pink Himalayan sea salt. Guys, I love a quiz. I am all about a personalized quiz, and I also love attention and my own name. I mean, I don't necessarily love my own name, but I do love when a package comes and it specifically says that it's for me. I love vitamins. I love feeling good. I love focusing and prioritizing my health. And it's such a fun way to go through a quiz and figure out what are the things that you want for the goals that you have. But then on top of that, you can switch at any time. And I am just a huge fan. I'm also a huge fan of any vitamin that will help my hair, skin, and nails, because all three of those things, they need help. For 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code BLAME50. That's takecareof.com and code BLAME50 for 50% off your first Care of order. Hello, everybody. We are back from our break. Did you miss us? Clearly, we have not moved at all because I am essentially I'm surrounded by equipment.
As am I.
Which was my goal, to make my skin look not as bad, but it's really not working. Again, I swear it does not look this bad in real life. It's fine. Who cares?
I'll throw a filter on it.
Please do. Let's get into the rest of the calls.
I've been with my current boyfriend for about 5 months, and I'm honestly at a point where I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. He hasn't said I love you. I don't know if 5 months is a long time or not a long time, like if I should be worried about that at this point. But, you know, he's terrible at texting. He's not very responsive. I've told him before that it annoys me. And he says he understands, but it's kind of becoming a point where I don't know, am I just high maintenance? Am I being psycho when I text him and he doesn't respond for multiple hours and I know it's just because he's playing some video game? Or is that something that I should be chill about and I should be able to just go with the flow and not be so quote unquote crazy? Because I feel like that's a pretty popular thing, you know, popular portrayal that, oh, some psycho girl that's super high maintenance and like, oh my God, he didn't text me back in 5 minutes. He must hate me. I really don't want to be that bitch. So I can't tell if I am being that bitch or if it's within my rights to say, hey, like, you don't give me enough attention. The thing is that she'll do one super sweet thing for me, maybe, and then kind of use that as like a, well, I mean, I did this nice thing for you, so why are you mad? And it's, in my opinion, it's like, well, you can't just do one nice thing for me once a month and then use that, you know, to ignore me the rest of the time. So basically, what do I do? Like, is this guy fucking with me? Is it a red flag that, like, he hasn't expressed deeper emotions after 5 months? Or do I just need to chill the fuck out? I don't know. I'm sure that your feedback is going to be brutal. And that's what I want. So, yeah, love the podcast. And thanks for listening.
I think we have to break this down into like sections.
I agree.
So 5 months,
we had a board,
I don't think is ridiculous that he hasn't said I love you at all.
No. But also on the other side, I don't think it's that long too. Like, have they actually defined what their relationship
That's
is?
what I mean. Like, I think like
yeah.
5 months, most people I know, like dating 5 months, you're not even like necessarily exclusive yet. Or, I mean, you might be exclusive, but like you're not boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I think that there's like, you can just still be dating. Like, we've been dating for 5 months. So I don't think that that's a red flag. I also am curious if you've told him that you love him. And
right.
If
you didn't specify that.
And also, do you love him or do you just feel like he should love you at the, Jamie?
It's on a timetable. Like, you think that you guys have been together for this amount of time. So you think that, you know what, now we've got to
we should be in love.
You, but have you?
Yeah. Like, are you in love though?
Are you actually in love with him?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I've dated people for like 5 months and never said I love you. Like, because I didn't love them.
Wasn't? Yeah.
But
and I think it's interesting that she never said that she said it, because I don't think you have.
I don't think you have
expecting
either.
him to be the first one to say it just because he should.
But it also doesn't sound like you're like, I really love him, or like I feel like I'm at this place and he's not there. So yeah, I just feel like a lot of this is like arbitrary timetables. And I think like okay, so I'm not a big texter at all. Like
nope. Takes hours.
Yeah, it does. And also
I know the fastest way to get to you is on Instagram.
Yeah, it is. Because I'm also like, ooh, what does it say?
And then I can see like if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm also like, that's part of me, just like I'm got ADHD. It's just not a out of sight, out of mind thing. And if iPhone could make texts unread,
I would do that too. The only people that I text back immediately is like for when I need work stuff.
Exactly.
But otherwise, it's just going to sit there until I'm done doing what I need to do.
Or until I've done and then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can have the brainwidth to like do this and figure that, like, to talk about this or whatever. Or if it's like someone sending me a video, I'm not going to like, I don't have time to like watch it yet. So like I'm going to respond after I've watched it. Mostly TikToks. But so I'm not a huge texter, and Monts is definitely a far better texter than I am. And I think that like at the early stages of dating, that can be really frustrating because it does feel like, oh, they're not really responding as much, like blah, blah, blah. Like, what is all of this? And I think like, I don't think it should be a massive issue this early on unless you're not getting stuff you're not actually like feeling like you're getting anything out of the relationship. So then like if there's not a ton of texting happening, then it feels like there's nothing really happening in this relationship at all. Like I think it needs like the reason why I can be like a not great texter with him is because like we see each other every day.
At the end of the day, you're going to see him.
Yeah. So I think it's so much more important when you're not seeing someone every day, and he just might be someone who's not into constant communication. So like the whole like psycho crazy thing, like we literally just had the last call, like that's a narrative that like men have used to like describe women. And also even if in the situations where you're like, well, I don't want to be that bitch, you're like, he's not texting back after 5 minutes. That bitch, quote unquote, is only the reason that way is because her ex-boyfriend, like the last guy that she dated, made her be like this. Like even if it's in like a quote unquote healthy, normal relationship, and they have those triggers, it's because of another dude from a different fucking relationship. So no matter what, it's not like on you, or even if it is on you, like on the person who's happening to, then more likely than not, that's like familial, like historical, like daddy issue, mommy issue, drama, abandonment shit.
Yeah,
so,
the only that bitch that we recognize here is the kind that Lizzo speaks of.
Yes, it's empowering.
That bitch. Yes.
That be like, you want to be that bitch. We never want to have like, let's just like erase the narrative of like, I don't want to be that bitch. No, you always want to be that bitch.
Yeah, you are that bitch.
You are that bitch. That bitch is a goal. It is not something you want to avoid. Like she is the best. So, but I do wish I kind of understood in what kind of texting are we talking about? Because if it's just like carrying on like a conversation throughout the day, some people just aren't huge texters like that. And maybe it's, as opposed to that, you guys have a FaceTime every day, or like you talk on the phone.
What I prefer.
Me too. And I think that's how, like, there's only a couple of people, and that's long distance friendships that I will text every day. Like my friends who I see like in LA, we'll like text when we need something, or if I like send you something funny, but like we don't catch up on text.
Yeah, I agree. My sisters, we have an ongoing text message all day, and that's like us checking in with each other, and we're all on different schedules. So that's like, we have that going, but like anybody else, I'm not sitting, I've got like 30 something unread text messages on my phone right now.
Look,
you're recording on it.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
I've got 36. Did you just say 36 too?
I said 30 something.
Oh, I have 36. Yeah. But yeah, so I do want to know what that is, because if it's like you trying to schedule like a time to talk and he's just not responding at all, then I think that's, then that to me is like, it's not an issue of him not responding, it's him like avoiding you. But then if it's just like trying to keep up a conversation throughout the day, and if you just have a straightforward, like blunt conversation with him of being like, what is your ideal texting style? Like, what is your ideal way that we would communicate throughout the day? And if he says, like, I like calling you in the morning and like calling you at night, and then like maybe 1 or 2 check-ins throughout the day via text, and then maybe yours is you like from like start to finish, wake up to like go to bed, just a constant steady texting conversation. I think you both need to manage your expectations, because I don't think either of you are feeling like fulfilled by what it is. I also feel like there's so much of the excuse of like, oh my God, playing video games, like this guy playing video games, not responding, blah, blah, blah. I know that video games can be addicting. I mean, Monts just got an Xbox, but to be fair, I'm more addicted to puzzles than he is to the Xbox. But I do think that the amount someone texts you doesn't indicate how they feel about you or how much they care about you, unless their actions are like they don't care about you. So like, I think if you're looking for the text messages to like confirm or deny what you're feeling like in person or when you are talking to him, then I think that's a different story. Like, I think if like you're feeling like he doesn't really care and he's not really into you when you're talking, and like when you're hanging out in person and the text messages are mirroring that, then I think that's your answer. But I think if like when you're in person and everything's great and it's all fine, then I think you just have different texting styles. But I don't know how much you like him either.
Yeah, you did not specify that at all. You weren't like, I like him so much, or I love him. Yeah. Either. You're just talking about the things that are arbitrary.
And also, we always say this on the show is that like your feelings shouldn't be contingent on his feelings. So you loving him shouldn't be like, oh, well, I only love him if he loves me too. Because that's like, no, like that, like when Monts and I first said it, like it got to a point where he had said it like, you know, a couple of times and I would like, I'm not ready and like cut it off. But it got to a point for me where I was like, I wasn't worried about saying it first. I didn't say it first, but I was like, I have to say it. At some point, it's just, I'm just going to fucking like accidentally blurt it out. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to hold out and wait until he says it so I can say it back. It was like, oh, I want him to say it so I can say it back. But it wasn't I'm not going to say it unless he says it. I just think that's, yeah, it's just a weird power dynamic thing that you like don't want to show your hand. But yeah, if you really like him, then express how you feel. And if he doesn't feel the same way, like maybe it's better that you know that now. Yeah. Yeah.
Before you're in too deep, but I don't think that you like him anymore.
I don't think you like him at all. I think you like him. I don't think you like really like him. I think you just want someone to text too. Mm-hmm. And like, I will say like that, those early stages, like that's when you're supposed to be like texting, having fun thing. But yeah, it's also about managing expectations. Like when Monts goes away for like bachelor parties and stuff like that, like we have a whole system where like I get a call in the morning and I get a call in the morning and a call at night, or a FaceTime in the morning, a FaceTime at night. And then whatever happens throughout the day, I'll get like check-ins, but it's not like an ongoing conversation. But you guys have to establish what it is that you guys are going to do. Otherwise, I think you're going to feel disappointed or feel like you're being like needy or crazy, but you have to say what you want or what you need. So yeah, but again, I don't think you really like him. And if anything, this has probably only gotten worse in quarantine.
Yep.
Like the not texting.
Or it could be better.
True. No, I feel like he's just playing so many more video games.
Yeah.
But my ex left me because of drugs, which was stupid because like I wasn't doing drugs frequently, whatever. But he was telling everybody that he left me because I wouldn't stop doing drugs. Made me look terrible because I'd only done shit twice in about a year. Whatever. But like we still talk all the time, and he'll come over sometimes, and it started as like a booty call, but now we'll just come over to like cuddle and watch a movie. Like it isn't even. I thought it was like about sex at first, but like he still tells me how much he misses me, and it doesn't make sense. And like I've brought up a few times, like trying to get back together and trying to just date instead of like, because obviously he's not going to go back to where it was. But he always tells me that I broke his trust and I ruined his trust, and I just like, am I fucking missing something? Like I understand I fucked up, but because we had done shit together and he never directly said to me he didn't want me doing anything, he just told my friends like almost a year ago that he didn't want them to let me do anything. I just didn't think it'd be a huge deal. And I haven't done anything since, obviously. It's been almost 2 months since we broke up, and I miss him so fucking much, and we still talk all the time. And it's just so dumb. I feel so dumb. I miss him so much. Like, he's probably coming over tonight. Like, it's so stupid, and I want him back, and I don't want to give up on it, but like, I just don't. I know it's my fault we broke up, but I still can't see that it's my fault we broke up. And like, I don't know. He's always going to tell me to forget about him. I don't even fucking care. I just wanted to get this out, and I thought this would be a good place to do it. So, thanks. Love the podcast. I appreciate what you do, and I guess I'll go now. Bye.
First of all, that's a fire sign if I ever fucking heard one.
But like, what?
What drugs?
What drugs? Yes. How are you missing him if you're seeing him every day?
True.
You guys did stuff together, but then he got mad that you did stuff with your friends. I have so many questions, and
my
I think
number
you just,
one question is
sped out things.
What drugs? Like, what drugs? Because like heroin, okay, I get it. And if like he was using too, and like now he's not using, and like let's say it was like heroin, meth, like fentanyl, like anything, like any opiate. Like let's say it's an opiate, pills, whatever. And if you guys were like doing stuff together, and then he was like, he stopped, and then he told your friends, hey, I don't want you to do this anymore. and then you continued to do that, I would understand, not in like a, oh, you broke my trust, but in like a, oh, I can't, I'm sober. Like I'm not doing.
She didn't say any of that.
And you also didn't say the term, you didn't say using, you kept saying doing drugs.
Yeah.
And doing drugs usually, this is like such like a
it's
decoding
like
language. Using drugs is not like, that's like shrooms, acid, like LSD, like weed, Molly, ecstasy. Like using is like you said you did drugs twice, and that's not like
in the last year.
Yeah. So it doesn't, I don't know. And maybe it's your classification that you like will do all of that other stuff, but then the doing drugs is something like, maybe this was a harder substance, like again, like an opiate, and you only did that one twice. But like, I just need to know what that is, because like, to be fair, that fully changes it. Because if it is, oh, you guys were both like using, he stopped using, he's like working towards sobriety, and he can't be with someone who might not, like, it doesn't sound like
together.
What?
But they're still together.
That's what I don't get though. But if like him saying like, it's like an arbitrary thing of being like, oh, I can't be in a relationship with someone and like have like the reason that they wouldn't be using is because I asked them to, versus them not wanting to. Do you know what I mean? Because like if you ask someone who's like using to be like, please don't use, if they stop for that, the likelihood, you have to want it. Like if you want to get sober, you have to do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And so if it's like he doesn't want to be in a relationship with someone who's not taking that seriously, but again, it's just like the term, like to me this sounds like you guys like were doing ecstasy at concerts, and then you did, like, he didn't want you doing it with anybody else, and then like you went to like a fucking rave with your friends and like did acid, and he broke up with you. Like that's what it, like that's the most logical explanation of my point in my mind.
I get that, but I don't understand. Okay, so it started, how long has this third relationship step gone? Because it was first like he was mad and then telling everybody that you guys were doing drugs, and that's why you broke up. But then you started having booty calls, and now you're cuddling and he's coming over every day. Like, how long has that been going on? And why do you miss him if you're still doing everything that people do in relationships, except for maybe like going on dates, which seems like that would be the next step, but we're all quarantining right now, so maybe you aren't seeing him. I don't know.
You better not be seeing him. But like, also, how did you break his living together trust?
Yeah, because she did drugs behind his back.
But like, did you say like, you're right, I'm never gonna do, like,
guys, when you call in, please give us all the information.
Yeah, this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, we can't give you help if you're not gonna give us all the information that we need to.
Well, I think a lot of the time people don't want to. You don't want to like not incriminate yourself, but like you have to own up to the stuff that you've done in this, because like, also to be fair, even if you like say everything that you've done and like you don't sugarcoat it, like we still might be on your, like we're not gonna. Like, we're not always going to tell you that you're being dumb in this situation. Because this is what I don't get. Like, if he, let's say it's like acid, like it's like hallucinogens, and you guys were doing it together, and then he was like, hey, like, don't do this with anybody else. And what was your reaction was like, okay, I'm not going to do it with anyone else. Like, what was his reasoning? Why? Because that's controlling. Like, if it's not like, I am not cool with drugs, and I'm not cool with anyone I date doing drugs. And for me, I refer to them as like party drugs versus like face down in a pool drugs. Like, I'm also at this point, like my anxiety is just like too bad regarding them that I like smoke weed. That's totally fine. Like, but anything else more than that, like, is just incredibly like triggering for me. And so it's that, but I'm not doing drugs with my partner and then saying, but you can't do them with anybody else. Cause that's a control aspect. It's not like I have like trauma related to drugs, or I have someone in my life who's like passed away from like addiction, and it's something that really like is it's like a deal breaker for me as someone who does that regardless of what drug it is. but it's not that. So to me, it just sounds like weirdly controlling. And then also you being like, I know that I broke his trust and like, I know that I fucked up and like, this is my fault. And like, I'm the reason why our relationship broke up, but also like, I'm not really understanding that. I think that's like the rational part of your brain that is like trying to like break through all of this to be like, yeah, it's ridiculous for someone to ask me to only do something with them. Okay. That sounds like anti-monogamy, but like a recreational drug, like it's not okay for me to like, that's like being like, it's not okay. Like you, like don't eat meat with anyone else, only eat meat with me. Like it's not something that's exclusive to relationships. Do you know what I mean? Like, or even like stereotypical, like movie style of like, oh, sex and like holding hands and all of that stuff. It's not like quote unquote relationship stuff that he's asking you to keep exclusive to your relationship. He's asking you to keep doing drugs exclusive to your relationship. And to me, that sounds like, oh, did he have a bad experience with someone else, like doing drugs and like an ex-girlfriend and then she ended up cheating on him or something like that. But I just think it's very weird. Like, I think the whole thing is super, super weird. And again, unless like he's no longer doing drugs and that's what it is. But like, and also like he told all of your, like he sounds like a shitty dude. Like he told all of your friends like, oh, she can't stop using drugs. And like you literally did them twice last year. And like, why the fuck are you still even talking? He sounds like a complete like,
because she misses him so much.
But why?
She misses him so much.
I can't.
Exactly.
I can't. Like, that's just dumb as shit. Like, he doesn't respect you. And also, if you break up, chances are he's gonna like, if he has your nudes, if he's gonna go around and spread and say that you're doing drugs when you're not, he's gonna fucking leak your nudes. Like, he sounds like such a vengeful person that like he has to get even. Like he's saying that you broke his trust. And I think that sounds like so much projecting to me of like him basically being like, you can't trust me. Like I'm a loose cannon. I'm going to do whatever I fucking want. And like, I don't care if it hurts you. Like my goal is to hurt you if you hurt me. And then again, him turning it on you and saying, it's like those people who get very like hyper defensive and accusatory of something that like you're not doing, but they're accusatory of it because they're doing it. That's what that sounds like to me, that he's like being like, oh, I can't trust you. But it's like, well, clearly you can't trust him. So yeah, you sound like brainwashed by the dick.
Yeah.
And I really hope you're social distancing and physical distancing and not seeing him. And we need a clarifying call. We need to understand.
And don't be like the girl that
oh God,
said the dude that broke her back, blew her back out, because we don't need like,
I don't need a new story.
We want clarifications. We don't need you to have a totally different call.
No. I don't. We've got a pretty good character sense of like him or we've got an idea. We need more to clarify this. If you give us like more unrelated information, it's not going to make any of this more clear.
No.
So
it's just a new problem.
Yeah, we need to know what drugs they are. All of that shit. And also, like, do your friends like fucking hate him? I would hate him if that was like one of my friend's boyfriends. Like, imagine they're just at like a fucking like, I don't know, like a Wiz Khalifa concert. And he's like, can't believe you would do that without me. It's like, okay, fucking loser. I just can't. I can't. What if it's like she went to Burning Man without him? Or maybe they went to Burning Man together and they had this
they
like,
can only do drugs at Burning Man.
Yeah. And they had this like experience and he was like, I could never do it again. Like maybe he had one of those like very like sexual, like they were rolling and they had like crazy fucking sex. And now he's convinced that every time she's rolling, she's like having crazy sex.
Ridiculous.
It's fucking dumb. I can't. I like have lost all track of time. Do we have another call?
We have an update.
Update. Okay. Update time?
Yeah, update time. So this is from the episode with Bose. And the original caller was having sexual issues with her boyfriend.
Okay.
And there might have been hints dropped about his sexual orientation.
Yeah. And it's an update. It's her call.
Yeah.
Oh, shite.
So, I was the girl who called in on episode 112. This was a callback, by the way. Called in on episode 112 where Bose is the guest and I'm the girl with the boyfriend who's super chaste and sexually shy, and everyone in the comments, and you guys thought he was gay. For clarification, this boy ain't gay. He's definitely very straight. but I have put together a few things since I first called in, and the easy answer to him to being so sexually shy is that there's more than just one answer, and they all stack on top of each other. So first, he was raised in like a super Catholic household, but like full abstinence was the expectation from day one, and he just had some hang-ups about sex in general. So secondly, we were each other's first for everything, so I literally had to show this man how to like unhook a bra and basically everything else about women. And third, like you guys totally hit the nail on the head when you said that he's the kind of guy who is so respectful that he's afraid to cross any kind of line, despite the fact that like I might not be drawing any, or I definitely wasn't drawing any. But yeah, he's like apologized before for like coming on too strong or like doing something that he thought was disrespectful. I'm like, nah, you're fine. Next, he actually does have some like body confidence issues that he doesn't like to talk about. So I kind of forget about them sometimes, but they'll come up every once in a while. And I feel like this is one of the main issues for him. So he used to be a full-time athlete, and then he quit to get a degree. So obviously like his body's changed when you're not working out all the time. And that led to like a lot of insecurities for him. So the whole conversation came about because I complimented saying like, damn, you're really sexy. And he literally stopped me in the middle of that sentence and explained that he was like, I don't feel that way. Like, I don't feel sexy, ever. And he's just very hypercritical of himself and nitpicks everything, especially like photos of himself and specific parts of his body. And he just has a genuinely really hard time feeling sexy. And I felt like this was important to explain just because I feel like this is the perception of men. And there's this thing of like all men are super sexually experienced and confident when it comes to sex. But I also feel like there's this other side where we give them like points for trying. And we're like, well, you did your best. It wasn't good, but it's all you've got. And I wanted to say that I think that there has to be something in the middle, especially when it comes to sex and relationships and between couples. Like, it's a process. You don't have to be like this fuckboy who's just great at everything, but you also don't have to like just resign yourself to being insecure and bad at sex or things like that. Like, it's a process. Like, you can grow, and it's something that you can learn from each other. And also taking into account, like, it's important to remember that your partner might have different hangups and issues and insecurities that you can work on together. But thank you so much for the advice. I really did appreciate it. And I love you all very much. Thank you. Bye.
But I still think that she's not making excuses for him.
Well, this is
because
also,
people were saying he was gay.
I was going to say, I feel like this callback is just defensive. And I don't say that in like a mean way. I think like it's so odd. I mean, you're saying that you hear our advice and that stuff, but I don't know. I don't feel like we gave you any insight that you, like, everything that you're sharing now, you didn't share the first call. Mm-hmm. And it's nothing that we brought up the body conscious thing and you're like, oh yeah, I know he is. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like all of this stuff was there when you called the first time.
But you didn't share it.
No.
And what you chose to share was talking about how he doesn't like going down on you, how
and he's like surprised that you would do certain stuff and he doesn't know what his fantasies are. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And I think like,
again, we need all the information when you guys call the first time.
Because we talked about the like maybe like the religious aspect of it, and like any time, like we have so many calls of people calling in. It's like, like usually it's personal. Like, oh, I can't masturbate because I grew up in a religious household and I still feel really guilty about it. So there's all of that sort of stuff. But like you knew all of that, but you focused on this other stuff. So that made like I think that you think that there's something else there besides what is there.
And you got offensive because people were saying that he might be gay.
He might be gay, yeah. And I mean, I just read another comment on that, is that like he might have like some sexual trauma in the past, which again, also all totally makes sense. It's just like the specifics that you chose to include the first time around. I don't know, like that. The things that you specifically chose to include start the narrative of he might not be into you. And like, or into women, like into like cisgender female genitalia.
Yes.
And that's what that again, that's the specific stuff that you used in that first call. So that's obviously where everybody went. And like, we didn't say it in the call. Like, we're not gonna, that's not our place, but like we implied it and like said that people in the comments would say that, which they did. So I'm just confused what we did for you in this situation at all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you said you liked the advice that we gave. So.
Yeah. And again, like everything you said was just so like not what we had heard the first time, but like again, is not new information to you. But that does like all like click and make sense how that would be like why he would like be more sexually shy. And like I don't think that there's I don't know. I don't agree with the fact that like your point of thinking that there's that stereotypically or like there's only two like mainstream ways for cisgender men to be, which is like a complete and total fuckboy or a lost cause. Like
that's not anything that we have ever said.
I feel like that's so opposite of what we stand by and like what we like talk about here. I don't think we've ever like deemed a guy sexually as a lost cause. And also like I think I don't know. I don't think you meant it to sound like this, but I do think like because like there was a lot of like you defending him being straight, then like having that be the alternative. Like, do you know what I mean? Like in the sense of being like, no, he's not gay. And like, why is it that like you're either like this fuckboy or you're a lost cause? And I don't think you meant to have there be a correlation between being a lost cause sexually and being gay, but it did a little bit sound like that. So I want to clarify for like anybody listening that that's like, I don't think that's what you meant to say or meant to sound like. And I don't think that's a thing at all. And I don't think that that's how it is. Like, I think like there's definitely like cisgender men who are incredibly like, sexually experienced and like sexually prowess, and that's totally fine. I think there are cisgender women and like transgender, like heterosexual, queer, whatever you are like, whatever you want to identify, whatever your orientation, whatever you do or do not identify as, or whatever your genitalia is, and whatever it all is, like you can be sexual and you can be like a fuck person. Like you can just like it's not deemed that way. If we want to go into like the strictly like talking about like toxic masculinity and like heterosexual, like male cisgender heterosexual culture, I think, of course there is that, that's what the media has done, like this pressure of men to be like quote unquote masculine and extremely like manly, and they should be into women and they should be all of like, it should be like really sexual and like they have all of that sort of stuff. But I think that's so dated and so not what we've ever talked about or stood for. So I think there is an in-between with everything. And I think like, you have to learn. And we preach that all the time of like guys who don't know how to go down on you. It's not we're not saying give up. We're like, but at a certain point, if like you're not getting your sexual needs met, it's not giving up because that person's a lost cause at all. It's just because that person's not the right fit for you. So I think that it's understanding that difference that, and I think like from the first call, you said that this wasn't a deal breaker thing and it wasn't a really big issue to you. So that's fine. Like that's totally like if where your sex life is at, it's not exactly what you want, but like it's not a deal breaker, then like, okay, go for it, continue doing whatever you're doing. But I don't think that it means that like there's not enough roles, especially like, let's say just on this podcast, like in the mainstream world, of course, I think that like we're pretty pigeonholed to like our stereotypes of like genders and sexuality, but like here, I feel like we don't need every like cis heterosexual man to like fucking like blah, 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 like rip your top up. Like, unless you want that. And if you want that, I love that. I'm about that. So I'm gonna date that. But like, it doesn't invalidate or like make anyone else like less than. It just means that those people aren't necessarily right for me. So.
Yeah. So like, what do you want? Like, I don't understand.
I think this is just defending the comments, but like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does feel like you're kind of tying this up with like a bow and like it's all like better and good now. And maybe you just maybe you did just need to kind of like hear yourself talk about it and register all of it. But, and also like if he's like not, I don't know. I'm just still like in the whole, like you talked a lot about the culture of men and expectations of men, but I think you also need to like understand that him saying eating you out is gross is like you're defending like sensitive men here, but like in turn that's like such misogynistic like culture. Women are like vaginas are dirty, like that, like.
And he's also surprised that she likes going down on
Oh my
him.
God. Wow. God, girl, you are defending and you are pioneering for like the sensitive, not superly sexual prowess man. But like everything he's kind of saying to you.
He's just not a sexual person. Maybe he's just.
But then everything he's saying to you is kind of the mainstream media of like women shouldn't like sex like that. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together. Like you're pioneering him for not being sexually prowess and he's a little bit like not necessarily, I don't think. Yeah, he's surprised.
Yeah.
I'm
and even I feel like a lot of my friends that grew up Catholic with that Catholic guilt, like going down was still the okay thing, you know? Like going down on each other was still okay because it wasn't sex. Even some people were
anal.
Into anal.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
vagina
sex.
to penis. Yeah. So all this is just very surprising to me.
Yeah,
but
I think
if you're happy in your relationship and this is where you want to be and you're fine with how things are, then good on you.
Yeah, but then also, why'd you call him the first one?
Yeah.
That's what I think I'm a little confused about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, happy for you. I don't know what you want from us at this point.
Yeah.
Or what you wanted the first time. Like, what did you think we were going to say?
All right.
Weird. Okay. Well, it was a good update.
Thanks.
Well, guys, that's it for our episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to call in for an upcoming episode, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. International listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. Oh, there's something in my eye. Pre-order my book. May 5th it comes out, and I've been getting a couple messages of people who are like, oh, is it not in Canada? If you're like trying to pre-order from Amazon, you got to go from your Amazon site, like your country's Amazon.
The .ca.
Yeah, so a lot of people are like, well, I went to the link in your bio. And I was like, yeah, but it's a US site. Like, just search it from wherever you are. And if you are experiencing delays in shipping, you can do digital and audio. Those are immediate downloads. And I did read the audiobook directed by Melisa.
Hello. We had fun.
We did have fun.
I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed the book. I can give a first-hand account about how proud I am of Meghan and how good the book is, and the writing is great. And I highly, 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 highly recommend you all to buy it. It's not like it's not a lot of the things that you've heard. They're not things that Meghan has talked about publicly. So it's not like it's not just videos being regurgitated to you. Mm-hmm. These are new things that give new insight into life. And I don't even think you need to be a fan of Meghan to enjoy the book.
Oh my God, I love you. Thank you. It's so nice. Yeah, someone had asked me if it was like the podcast, like all the podcast stories. And I was like, no, like I'll dive deeper into like the reference of me getting dumped underneath the claw machine in a Mexican restaurant, which I've like said, but like nothing else is.
There's a lot of things that I was surprised about. And I feel like I know Meghan.
Yeah, you do. You were like, I didn't know this story. And I was like, yeah. Closed book, girl. So if you guys want to pre-order it, please do. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Follow our personal Instagrams, please.
I don't ever post anything. But
you should follow
me.
And follow me too. And if you guys haven't watched the video version, you can check out all of the lighting that I tried to do for this that still makes my skin look absolutely awful, which is cool. And what else? I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying healthy, staying inside. No dick is worth other people death. No dick is worth death. Nobody else.
No dick is worth death.
Nobody should die for you to get it fucking in.
Unless you're like, nobody else should die. But if it's like the greatest sex of your life and you die during it.
That's fine. But I'm happy for you. Like, I'm happy for you then. But like, nobody else's life is worth your. No, it's just not a thing. So buy a vibrator, stay the fuck inside, only fuck people that you are quarantined with.
And not related to.
And not. It's so sad that we have to say that.
I know.
Blood related or related by marriage, unless you're the one who's married to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and use protection. Don't have a quarantine baby unplanned.
Did you see those twins that were born?
I can't. COVID and Corona. That's cruel. Fucking cruel. Like, we just wanted to like bring some
awful.
light to this and like make some levity. And I was like, I think it might end up being illegal. That's so bad. Yeah. It's so bad.
It's terrible.
Well, guys, you can also leave us what?
I was gonna say, whoever left the message on or the review on Apple Podcasts that I'm always grumpy. You're stuck with me.
I can't. That's a cancer. I also just want to say I've predicted everybody, like everyone who's like on the Facebook group. One girl like made a post of being like I'm not gonna whatever, but like made a post and it was what
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm not gonna like say what it is because like we keep all that private. But like it's all these fucking comments like answering and like giving advice, and the only thing I said is, "Are you a Cancer?" And she responded and going, "Haha, oh my fucking god, I am." And I was like, "Yeah, knew it."
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want this like peppy, like also I just can't understand, like, am I not grumpy? Like, am I angry? Are you grumpy and am I angry?
No, they said that you were tolerable and I was grumpy.
Oh, because I was
they
like,
could tolerate what you said, and then I was
because I was like, there's no way that they like me and then think you, because like I'm not like sunshine rainbows. Do you know what I mean? Like I get like all the time. It's like, oh, she's either she's a bitch or like, yeah. So like that's what I don't. Or like closed-minded. So that's funny. Tolerable. That's the only way you could cut it. And also, if you think I'm tolerable,
you guys for all the thanks, guys, for all the other nice reviews.
Yeah. If you want to leave a review, now that you've got the time, please do. Yeah. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't Blame Me is a production by me. Executive produced by Melisa Monts. Camera operator Amanda Lechner. And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso. Whatever struggles you're facing, from depression and anxiety to trauma and grief, BetterHelp can connect you with a professional counselor in a safe and private online environment. And it's so convenient. You can schedule secure video or phone sessions, as well as chat and text with your therapist. And anything you share is completely confidential. Best of all, it's a truly affordable option. Our listeners even get 10% off your first month with the discount code BLAME. So why not get started? Simply go to betterhelp.com/blame and fill out a questionnaire to get matched with a counselor you'll love today.